On June 19th, 1978, Jim Davis gave us this guy, Garfield. Now, where was Jim Davis from, you might ask? Here, in Muncie, Indiana. And in his honor, they have erected 14 of these Garfield statues, and my job today is to find all of them. Along the way, I will be giving you some awesome Garfield facts. Let's go around, and before we leave here, actually, let's check out some of these plaques, because there's some cool things all around here. Let's go. So before you even come into the Garfield Park, there's this plaque here. It ruined my intro, so I had to do the intro first. Oh, you know what? I might not have to give you these Garfield facts. This trip might give us the Garfield facts for us. Garfield the comic strip made its first appearance in 41 U.S. newspaper on June 19th, 1978. See, I told you, I wasn't lying. Garfield is named after Jim Davis's grandfather, James Garfield Davis. Now this says Garfield's first full-length feature film, Garfield the movie, was released in 2004. I know that Garfield was voiced by Bill Murray. However, there was animated Garfield movies before this, right? I'm not crazy, right? Garfield is the most widely syndicated comic strip in the world. Source, Guinness World Records. All right. But like I said, this is just the first statue of 14. So let's get to the next one. And maybe by the end of this journey, we might be lucky enough to meet the man himself. Who knows? Let's go. Here we are at Garfield location number 2 inside a library. So I'm trying to stay a little quiet. Apparently loves to curl up with a good book. So there's a Garfield fact for you. But there's something else about this library that I want to share with you that's really cool. And I hope everyone comes and visits because it's awesome. Let's go. This library doubles as a museum, and I think that is just the coolest thing. So definitely find this library yourself and come visit. We have made it to Garfield number 3, the Speed King, right over here. There are some cool things about this Garfield. Let me show you some plaques over here. Speed King Garfield honors the Swayze Speed Kings. We are in Swayze, Indiana now, by the way. Yes, we took quite the trip to get over here. And then, I don't know if you can read that plaque. The Garfield theme is based on the Swayze High School Speed Kings state record 9 overtime basketball game, March 7th, 1964, played in the Memorial Coliseum, Marion, Indiana. This scoreboard, I guess, is the original scoreboard from that game. It reflects the final score. Wow, 65-61. That's crazy. However, these are not giving us Garfield facts like that first Garfield did. So let me hit you with a Garfield fact. Did you know that Garfield was originally supposed to focus on John, the human, as the main character, with Garfield being like the secondary comedy relief? But people fell in love with Garfield so much that they made the focus on him. So there you go. On to the next Garfield. I haven't quite found Garfield yet, but there's paw prints on the ground, and I'm guessing that's a clue. Let's follow them. Turns out I was wrong. Those paw prints were for a dog park, not for Garfield. We are on the hunt for Garfield once again. All right, so I ended up going back to my car to see what was up because I'm at the right address, but it turns out you have to hike a little bit to see this next Garfield. So we're gonna hike this trail until we find him. This must be the most elusive Garfield yet. So I was walking a pretty good distance when I finally came upon a couple of bicyclists. And I said, hey, I am looking for the Garfield that is supposed to be on this trail. Do you have any idea where he could be? They said it's the other way. I've been going the wrong direction this whole time. Here's how much I goofed this up. Here's my car. I went quite a ways down that trail. And Garfield, you can... All right, so here we have college-bound Garfield. Garfield travels the rails to college. All right. Next stop, Garfield number 5. I forget what that one's called, but we'll see it. We have made it. Dedicated to Marion General Hospital. We are in Marion, by the way. Again, this thing takes us all over Grant County. Medical Garfield. Wait a minute. So it turns out this Garfield is away for maintenance. Someone apparently had vandalized this Garfield, and so now they're taking him away to get him fixed up. But let's look at the plaques here anyway. Fit for Life Garfield. Hits trails to promote health and fitness. Pretty interesting update. As I was leaving from the vandalized statue, I come across a man who claims to be, and I have no reason to doubt, that he is Jim Davis's second cousin, and that his mother, and his mother sitting there in the middle there, that's his first cousin, Jim Davis's first cousin. So, you know, I was playing up the whole Jim Davis interview as a joke, because I mean, come on, there's no way that's gonna happen. But I did meet his family, which is very cool. So there you go, interesting update. All right, now I know I just said this was Garfield number 6, but this is Garfield number 7. We have Golfing Garfield. Golfing Garfield. Oh, Duffer Garfield, I guess is his official name. To my friend Jack Hart, thanks, Jim Davis. Wonderful. Carved out of wood there? Oh, that's really cool. And now for your Garfield fact. In Sweden, Garfield's name is Gustav. Also, here's a little bonus fact. The Garfield comic is set in Muncie, Indiana, although it's rarely talked about. Before we get to Garfield 8, we're about halfway through the Garfields, and Golfer Garfield wanted to thank all the patrons for making this show possible. Didn't you, buddy? Yeah, so you can see all their names coming up here. And if you would like to join this list of names and support the show for just $1 a month, you can click our Patreon link and join the Patreon group. All right, back to the Garfields. All right, here we are coming up to Garfield number 8. I see him. I see him. Here he is. You see him. You see him. There he is. Okay. This Garfield also outside of a library. Makes sense. He's a comic book character or a comic strip character. Weaver. Haha, Reverb or Weaver joke there. What is this? A Worldly Cat. Garfield honors the popcorn capital of the world and the Aces High School basketball team. Wonderful. Here is this Garfield fact. Odie, John's dog, was not originally John's dog. John had a green-shirted roommate early on in the comic strip days. I think his name was Lyle or Lyman, something like that. Odie was the roommate's dog, not John's. But I guess the character of the roommate was not very liked, so he was swept under the rug, but Odie stayed. So that's Odie's origins. We're on to statue number 9. All right, I have arrived at the next Garfield, the Gone Fishing Garfield. That's a bunch of pictures of Garfields, some yet to see. Gone Fishing Garfield. Garfield's catch from his fishing hole by the bridge. Here's his fish. Get a better look at this. Love it. And now for the Garfield fact, and this one's really cool. Okay, so you know how earlier I said Bill Murray was the voice of Garfield in the live-action movie? Well, he is also very famously a Ghostbuster, Peter Venkman. Well, the cool thing about that is Lorenzo Music, who was famously the voice of Garfield for a long time, also voiced Peter Venkman in the Ghostbusters animated series. So there's a weird sort of shared connected universe there. That's a pretty fun fact. On to Garfield number 10, I think. For Garfield number 10, we have Cool Cat Garfield. And Cool Cat Garfield says, he's dressed in honor of his fellow Fairmount native, 1950s film star James Dean. Yeah, Cool Cat Garfield indeed. This is the James Dean Museum, so Cool Cat Garfield is definitely dressed to impress. But now for the Garfield fact, and this one's really cool. So, did you know that Garfield once got beat up by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Apparently, there was a TMNT magazine that ran in the 90s, and this one was called Garfield Meets the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And basically what happened, it was like a one-page quick comic. Garfield disguised himself as a turtle called Garfello. He was attempting to eat the Ninja Turtles pizza, but once the turtles caught on what was happening, they beat him up. So there you go, Garfield got beat up by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fun fact. On to Garfield 11. We are here with Firefighter Garfield. Look at him. Look at that proud face of a firefighter. Nice little firefighter hat. You got the hose. Where's that hose end up? I'm curious. Hold on. Where do you go? Where do you go? Wrap around under the tail, and then it disappears under the tail. Okay. Very cool. Firefighter Garfield has I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but he's got a nice spider web on his face. Anyway, here is the plaque. Firefighter Garfield. Garfield honors Jonesboro's volunteers, the 1st Grant County Fire Department, and its police reserves. And of course, you know I have a Garfield fact for you. Jim Davis, actually, after 45 years, still is closely involved with the comic strip. He does not draw anymore, but he still writes for the strip and he directs. So, yeah. Good for you, Jim. And for our next Garfield, we have Glassblower Garfield. As you can see, he is blowing a bulb there. That's pretty cool. Glassblower Garfield. Garfield honors the natural gas boom and the glass industry of Gas City. Wonderful. And now for the Garfield fact. I'm running out of these, by the way, so I hope I can find enough to get through the rest of the Garfield statues. Anyway, in 2011, in Muncie, Indiana, they showed a live musical production. They called Garfield Live, and it was mildly successful. So there you go. Garfield's been in comics, TV, movie, and theater. What else could Garfield do? I'm learning a lot about Garfield today. I hope you are as well. Again, I'd just like to take this time to thank everyone who supports the show. We already showed the patrons earlier. If you would like to support the show, maybe not on a monthly basis, but maybe you'd like to, I don't know, buy an item of merch, that helps out quite a bit as well. You can use the code BLUE10 to get 10% off your purchase, so that's cool. But if you go to goodnightchrisblue.com/merch, that's our merch store. So please take the time to go over there and check it out, and maybe help us out by getting an item or two. All right, on to the next statue. This is our 13th statue, I believe. And we have British Garfield. Very nice. I like the crest on his hat. The plaque says, Garfield salutes all things British in Grant County from the historic 1812 Battle of the Mississinawa. Oh man, here's my weakness to reading. Oh yeah, I know this word. Mississinawa, to a traditional English meal of fish and chips at Payne's restaurant, which is right here. Nice. But of course, you are here for a Garfield fun fact, and I got one for you. So, the Macy's Day Parade cites that Shamu the whale's balloon is the biggest balloon that they've had. However, Jim Davis argues that by the volume of helium that they've had to use compared to Shamu to the Garfield balloon, they actually had to use more helium for the Garfield balloon, which must mean the Garfield balloon is bigger than the Shamu balloon. So there's your Garfield fun fact. On to what I believe is the last statue. Let's go! This has been quite the adventure today. I had so much fun. I'm sure I'll do it again sometime in my life. I really encourage all of you to do it. Yeah, it was awesome. I've ordered food. I want to fill my belly like Garfield would. Yeah. Oh, and I'm going to slip in another Garfield fun fact here. We actually filmed this on a Tuesday because Garfield hates Mondays. With that, good night, my sweet baby angels. I'll see you in the future.